Alright, look, this is gonna be a pretty unscripted video compared to what I usually do, and that's mostly for the reason that this is a rather serious discussion, and I'd like to just give my general thoughts on it. Now, I may not have posted many FPS videos. I posted one Frontlines video, posted the Call of Duty BO7 Mastercraft Inspects for the Vault Edition, but besides that, I don't really post anything on FPSs, so this is kind of coming out of the blue, especially with the gameplay in the background. But I wanted to talk about, especially AAA games like this, using AI art for their games. And not just for a reference, not just for like a concept art, they will just put the AI in their games. This is pretty common knowledge if you're around the internet for longer than about 30 seconds and like to play the average FPS. However, recently, the lead developer of not only the first two Modern Warfares of Call of Duty, some of the best in the franchise, but also Battlefield 6, Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends, died. And with that, the same day or a day later, an AI bundle was released in Battlefield 6, which he was the lead dev of. If you are not aware, EA and Battlefield Studios had promised to not use any AI art in their games. But, wouldn't you know it, they went ahead and did it. I have a rather tinfoil hat theory that Vince Zampella was holding it back and making it so EA was not allowed to do that or he would leave. Now that he's dead, EA has free reign to do what they want. EA has free reign to upload AI slop and get away with it, just like Call of Duty has for years. Last year, in Black Ops 6, around this time, there was a bundle release for zombies with a zombie Santa Claus that had 6 fingers, and it was notably AI generated, only for a Juggernog thing and another cosmetic bundle later to also be equally as AI generated, and obviously AI generated. The thing is, they're getting away with it because the average consumer does not notice or care. They don't see the problem with a few cosmetics here and there being AI generated. I, and many others, have noticed and understand that this is a stepping stone. You gave them an inch, they're going to take a mile. They're going to take 10, they're going to take 500 and walk it. This is the barrier between gaming changing. The main source of information I had to learn that Battlefield 6 had the issue with AI is Blame Truth. He's a YouTuber who is very, very hate-mongering and just loves to complain about every feasible thing, such as skill-based matchmaking and all that stuff, which there are fair complaints, but his most stuff is just streaming to scream for content. However, his most recent video discussing Battlefield 6, which he was a D1 glazer of, is really telling. He said that AI is going to take over. AI is going to be in your videos, your media, your games. Everything you do will be AI generated by 2035. And the worst part about it is me and my generation, me being about 16, is cooked because of it. Because we're going to be the prime demographic by that time. I'm going to be 20 in what, 4 years? I'm going to be the people that these companies look to exploit and extort. However, I obviously know of the AI stuff, and I know to look out for it because I don't want AI slop in my fucking YouTube feed. It's so goddamn annoying. I don't want all the AI slop that I've been seeing lately. But there are people out there, and I know that because the people in my class and some of my family have fallen for this stuff. And have actively tried to convince me of an AI-generated video being real because it looked that realistic to them. They were older, I will give that, obviously, but it still is concerning. These companies are doing everything they can to get AI everywhere to replace the workforce and replace as many jobs as possible in the next 10 years. Not only is it entertainment in general, it's just day-to-day life. I guarantee you have a phone. I guarantee you most people have a console if they're around my age. I guarantee you most people have a computer if they're a hardcore gamer. Everything about that is scaling tenfold. RAM prices have went up by 3 times in the past 3 months. Nvidia is cutting their GPUs by 40% and supposedly quitting production of the RTX 5060 series. All for the use of putting it towards AI. Micron, the biggest RAM distributor, shut down entirely for their consumer market to only make stuff for AI. Microsoft has already raised the price of Xbox Series X and S twice in the past year. But that's not all. They've raised Game Pass up twice in the past year, too, from 15 to 20 to 30. And people will still pay for it because they have nowhere else to go. Not only that, if you want to Google something, if you want to look up something on the fucking internet, you will get an AI synopsis as the first thing that shows up if you're Googling. But not only that, you have Microsoft's Copilot that will show up if you Google something on Edge, which no one uses, and Bing, but, you know. You have Opera GX, which, besides being a shady company in general, has been just importing AI into everything. They have Goth AI, which I get to play in words now. And all it does is, if you have it active, will just keep giving you guides and tell you to explore topics and things you should look up. And phone prices are expected to go up by 6 to 8% in the next year, which may not sound like a lot so far, 10, 20 bucks, but, you know, percentages scale exponentially. If you keep going, at this rate, phones will cost $2,000 by 2040. All this wraps back to say is, I believe that gaming is the start of something bad. It's the start of the indicator that AI will take over. AI will, not in the sense of like Terminator, but it will take over jobs. It will take over people's lives. They won't be able to pay for things as much anymore. Your Walmart's going to be scanning your face for AI to do pattern recognition and tell you things that you might have forgotten. It's going to completely shift the dynamic that we have. The consumer market is going to be nothing but AI because all the businesses find it so cheap to produce. Because it is. It's cheap. It's a paperweight to them. They are a multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar business that spends nothing to generate these AI videos. And they don't need a single fucking employee to do it. They can generate these and sitting in their CEO executive chairs without a single soul putting any effort in what they're putting out. This is to raise awareness. And I know my channel's small, and I know it's not gonna get anywhere. But I just had to rant about this because I'm so fucking tired of AI being in everything that I see. I'm so tired of AI being so rampant and so prevalent in all media. There are still very few companies that will try to prevent AI from being anywhere, such as GamerSubs. All of the art on there is hand-drawn, and you have to put massive props for the quality of it, even if they are a bit suggestive, more revealing than that, but the art in them is amazing. You have to put, you know, indie games like Balatro, Ultra Kill, Expedition 33. Those games did not use AI. Hollow Knight Silksong had entirely hand-drawn art for every single aspect of the game. It was one of the most visually appealing games of 2025. Those are the games that are going to win. People are going to shift from buying the AAA games for $80 a year to buying the indie games, the games that are small, the games that are made by people who don't really have the money to do that, who just want to make something out of passion, out of a love for the genre that they made. Please, buy shooters, and buy FPSs, and buy games of your genre that are indie. And while it's kind of hard to avoid it, as there isn't really a thing that can compete with COD's quality, not including the AI, the gameplay-wise, you know, you can't really compete with COD's quality. Same with Battlefield's style, you can't really compete with that right now. But in the coming years, there will be something that comes out that is indie and that is poured more passion than any of these AAA studios had in the past 6 years. Please, go indie. Anyway, enough of a rant. Merry Christmas, by the way. I should be uploading this around Christmas Eve, maybe Christmas Day. Depends on what time it is. But, I decided to do this rant because I just watched a video on it, and I was also, going to the Call of Duty store, as you know, because I play the game. And I saw that some of the bundles in BO7 do use AI, like, notably. So I just thought, you know what, I'm fucking sick of this. I gotta rant about it. So, you know, have a good Halloween and a merry good night. Bye.